Hey everybody, and welcome back. Man, I'm just throwing this video up here right now. You know, the reality of things are, I love doing all this fancy editing. I like having multiple camera angles and all this other kind of stuff. But the truth of it is, guys, I just don't have time anymore. But yet, there is a tremendous amount of information that I want to give you guys to help you out. I want to cut through the marketing bullcrap and all this other stuff that exists out there and give you some real world answers. Now, I know, and I apologize, a lot of you do leave comments on the videos. Thank you very much for those comments, and a lot of you leave questions and things. I do take a quick look at them, and I respond as I have time. Unfortunately, I can't get to everyone, and I do apologize for that, but you guys know what I'm up against. Yes, my workbench is piled full of stuff right now. It's because I'm busy, and this is a working shop. But yet, I still want to get information to you. I don't have a ton of time to answer comments. So when I do read through those comments, I see common questions that come up over and over again. Now, you guys know that I am virtually a distributor for everybody in this industry. And I can sell you every part you could potentially need for your motorcycle with an email, sales@baxtersgarage.com, and I'll take care of you on your parts. We're going to have a conversation about those parts to make sure they fit for you. No, I don't have a bunch of stuff on my website, but I think about a lot of things. When I see the comments, I think about common parts, common questions, and things that people are asking about. I actually just finished up a set of heads for a fellow, some CNC ported heads, manganese bronze guides, nitrided valves, and CNC ported, etc., etc. And I am in the process right now of doing the blueprinting and initial assembly so I can measure everything a final time. At that point, everything gets torn back down, cleaned meticulously, and then final assembly takes place, provided there's no more machining operations that need to happen to make it perfect. That being said, in today's video, I'm going to cover a question that I get very commonly. Kevin, do I need to convert from a belt drive to a chain final drive with this engine that you're building for me, or this engine someone else built for me, or whatever the case may be? Do I need to convert from belt to chain? Stick around for just a couple of minutes and let me answer this question for you. To answer this question for you, there's a lot of things that need to be taken into consideration. Now, of course, as you guys know, I'm a total motorcycle kind of guy. When we do these consults for these engine builds, we talk about your average RPM riding range, your rider weight, where you live, how you ride, when you change gears, all that sort of thing. I ask those questions for very specific reasons. I consider myself to be that little Italian tailor hidden away in a back alley in downtown New York. And there are several components. And if you've ever been in the automotive world, you know how you build your engine is typically directly relative to how you run your gear ratios. Are you running a close ratio or a spread ratio, 4-speed transmission, what rear end ratio, all those things. So a large part of converting from belt to chain has a lot to do with gear ratio changes. It has a lot to do with how your engine is being built. The power range of that engine. All too often, people will start with the camshaft and try to build an engine around a cam. I disagree with that. It's an entire system. The knee bone's connected to the thigh bone, etc., as you work through this thing. So between heads, ports, valve sizes, intake sizes, exhaust styles, 2-into-1, 2-into-1-into-2, true duals, all of those things come into play. Where you live, how you ride, how much you weigh, all of those things factor in to the total system of the motorcycle. And one of those components of the system, yes, is gear ratio. So one answer to this question, should I convert to chain drive? A person has to ask themselves, how much are they willing to play with gear ratios based on how they ride? So it is by far easier to change a rear sprocket and chain than it is to change primary gearing and belts and all that sort of thing. It's a lot easier. So that is one aspect of it. But the second, what I would say is the biggest aspect of it, is actually a very complicated mathematical formula. Give me a couple of seconds and I'm going to show you. That's right. It's up to you. Isn't that amazing? It's up to you and your right hand. Here's the reality of things. So many people are looking to buy parts for their motorcycle, to convert it from a belt to a chain, and they're looking for a particular horsepower number or a torque number that tells them, yes, I need to spend this money to buy this chain drive. The reality of it is there is no horsepower number or torque number specifically that is a definitive answer to that question. Do you have to convert it? You can take a completely stock engine and with an inexperienced rider, a poor belt adjustment, and irresponsible riding, that snatch and grab your right hand. It's up to your right hand. You can break a stock belt. And typically what happens in that when a belt actually snaps and breaks, it's because it started with an improper belt adjustment, most likely because the belt was too loose. It experiences that shock load and then the belt snaps. The second is running a belt too tight, which may not actually affect the belt itself, but it will certainly accelerate the wear on your pulleys, the belt, and the bearings. That's another thing to consider. Also, improper rear wheel axle alignment relative to swing arm, etc., but that's another conversation. As far as power is concerned, is there a power limitation? No, there really isn't. I could build you a 10,000 horsepower twin cam, but if you're driving Miss Daisy to the grocery store or to a restaurant on Sundays to get yourself some fried green tomatoes, nice and slow and easy, that 10,000 horsepower engine will not break your belt. It's how you use your right hand. And in reality, it's up to that, right? Again, you can break a belt, or you can also strip the teeth off of a belt with irresponsible riding. Now, there is a certain point, of course, where you get a tremendous amount of power on an engine with a belt, and you increase the likelihood of stripping the teeth from that belt. But there again, that is typically a result of an improper belt adjustment, dump of the clutch, and a quick snatch of your right hand. So, to answer the question, do you need to convert from chain drive or from belt drive to chain final drive when you have an engine built? You need to ask yourself, how do I ride? How crazy am I going to get on this bike once I have a taste of that performance? And how itchy is my right hand? I hope that helps you guys make the decision. And this very much goes back to a conversation many of you heard about it when I talked about clutch baskets. It all comes down to you being honest with yourself and the fact that you might have that one or two situations where you may just decide to show off a little. You did pay a lot for that extra performance, and sometimes you just got to let her eat. Sometimes you just got to let that dog eat. So if your dog's real hungry and your right hand is real twitchy and your left hand, well, can't keep a grip that well on a clutch lever, yeah, maybe you should convert to chain drive. And if you're thinking about it, don't forget, shoot me an email, sales@baxtersgarage.com. Let's talk about gear ratios. Let's talk about your engine, your cam profile, your port sizes, your valve sizes, your throttle body sizes, what exhaust you're running, how you ride, where you shift gears, how much you weigh, how much your passenger weighs, all those wonderful things. And we'll dial you in on a perfect gear ratio. One big advantage is it's far cheaper to change a gear ratio with a chain drive. than it is with a belt drive. So keep that in mind. Guys, take care of yourselves and each other. Once again, thanks to everyone for donating to the All Kids Bike program that we're doing the custom painted panel for. We're a little over halfway in the budget to finish that program up. I plan to start shooting and continuing on with the videos soon. It's probably going to be a little bit before I post them, but we're getting there. So thanks for buying the raffle tickets on the website at baxtersgarage.com. I want to thank all of our members. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for continuously supporting the channel. Thanks for all your positive comments and things. You guys are awesome. Have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves and each other. Have a good one.